Human guards flanked her, both in formal uniforms. The guards carried no visible weapons, as the council had demanded. But Daeun knew they were trained in hand-to-hand combat. If something went wrong, they would protect her. The corridor opened into the massive council chamber. Daeun had seen pictures of this place in historical records. It looked the same as it had 200 years ago. The circular room had seats arranged in rising tiers. Each seat held a representative from a different species. Every alien eye turned to watch her enter. Some looked curious. Others looked hostile. Daeun kept her expression calm and professional. She walked to the center platform where speakers addressed the council. Vexthor sat in the highest seat. His blue skin seemed to glow brighter with anger. He did not stand to greet her. "Ambassador Daeun," Vexthor said. His voice echoed through the chamber. "You stand before the Galactic Council as a representative of a species that was exiled for good reason. Why have you returned?" Daeun took a breath. "Council leader, honored representatives, I thank you for receiving me. Humanity returns because 200 years have passed. We have followed the terms of our exile. We remained in our designated sector. We did not attempt contact until now. We believe enough time has passed for reconsideration." "Reconsideration?" Vexthor laughed. "You bring a fleet of warships and ask for reconsideration?" "We bring ships for our protection," Daeun replied. "Every nation has a military for defense. We are no different." "You are different," Vexthor snapped. "Your species is violent by nature. The records are clear." Daeun activated a holographic projector. Images appeared in the air above the platform. They showed human colonies, clean cities with parks and schools, research facilities where scientists worked on medical advances, farms where families grew food. "These are our worlds," Daeun said. "We have 20 settled planets. Our population is 8 billion. We have universities, hospitals, and democratic governments. We have artists and teachers and engineers. Yes, we have a military, but we also have everything that makes a civilization worthy of respect." Some council members leaned forward with interest. The Keltharian ambassador nodded slowly. The Morvian delegate made notes on a tablet, but Vexthor was unmoved. "Pretty pictures prove nothing. You were exiled because you are aggressive, because you fight among yourselves, because you cannot be trusted." "We did fight among ourselves," Daeun admitted. 200 years ago, humanity was divided. We had conflicts, but exile forced us to change. We had to work together to survive. Our old divisions became meaningless when we faced extinction. We united, we grew. We learned. Learned what? Vexthor demanded. "How to build better weapons." "How to be better," Daeun said simply. "We learned that survival requires cooperation. That strength comes from unity. That revenge solves nothing. We do not come seeking vengeance for the exile. We come seeking membership in the galactic community." The chamber filled with murmuring voices. Council members talked among themselves. Some seemed convinced by Daeun's words. Others remained skeptical. The Keltharian ambassador stood. She was an older female of her species, with silver scales and kind eyes. "Council leader, I believe we should consider Ambassador Daeun's request seriously. 200 years is a long time. Perhaps humanity has changed." "They have not changed," Vexthor insisted. "They simply became better at hiding their true nature." The Morvian delegate spoke up. "We could establish a probationary period, allow limited contact and trade, monitor their behavior over time." "And if they prove dangerous during this probation?" another delegate asked. "What then?" "They already have military technology superior to ours." That comment caused more worried discussions. Daeun realized the council was afraid of humanity, not because of what humans had done, but because of what they might do. She made a decision. It was risky, but diplomacy required taking chances. "Council leader, honored members, I have a proposal," Daeun said loudly. The chamber quieted. "You fear our military strength. You question our intentions. Let us prove ourselves through action." "What do you mean?" the Keltharian ambassador asked. "I understand there are pirates operating near your borders," Daeun said. "They have raided several colonies in the past months. Your military has attempted to stop them but failed. Allow human forces to eliminate this threat. We will demonstrate our capabilities and our goodwill." Vexthor stood up angrily. "Absolutely not. This is clearly a trick. You want to position your warships in council space. You want access to our territory. We want to help," Daeun said calmly. "Send observers with our fleet. Monitor everything we do. If we prove untrustworthy, you can renew the exile. But if we succeed, you must seriously consider our petition for membership. The chamber erupted in debate. Some council members liked the idea. The pirate problem had embarrassed the council military for months. If humans could solve it, that would be valuable. But others worried about the risk. The Morvian delegate stood. I support this proposal. The pirates have killed hundreds of our citizens. If the humans can stop them, we should let them try. As do I. The Keltharian ambassador agreed. We have little to lose and much to gain. Other voices joined in support. Vexthor saw that he was losing the argument. Too many council members wanted to see what humans could do. Very well, Vexthor said through clenched teeth. But there will be conditions. Your fleet will be limited to 20 ships. Our observers will monitor everything. You will have 1 week to complete the mission. And if you fail, or if you show any sign of aggression toward council forces, the exile becomes permanent. Forever. Dalian nodded. We accept these terms. The pirate base is located in the Krell asteroid field, Vexthor continued. Our military has attempted 3 assaults. All failed. The terrain is too difficult and the pirates have strong defenses. If you think you can do better, try. We will, Dawen said confidently. The council session ended. Diane returned to her shuttle and headed back to the human fleet. As soon as she was aboard the Sovereign, she went straight to Admiral Taeyang's command center. How did it go? Taeyang asked. We have a chance, Dawen said. She explained the agreement. We need to eliminate a pirate base. If we succeed, the council will consider our membership. Captain Hajun studied the tactical information about the Krell asteroid field. The council failed 3 times against this target. They want to see us fail too. Then we will not fail, Taeyang said firmly. Hajun, select your 20 best ships. I want pilots who can navigate difficult terrain. Prepare for assault operations. Yes, sir, Hajun said. I would like to lead the attack personally. Taeyang considered this. Hajun was his best tactical officer, but he was also young. This mission would be dangerous. Very well, Taeyang decided. You will command the strike force. But remember, we are not trying to impress the council with brute force. We need to show them precision, professionalism, and restraint. I understand, Admiral. General Borah joined the meeting. She commanded the ground assault troops. Admiral, if this is a pirate base, there will be hostages. Civilians who were captured during raids. We should prepare for rescue operations. Good thinking, Taeyang said. Select a boarding team. Your orders are to minimize casualties on all sides. Take the pirates alive if possible. We want to show the council that humans value life. Yes, sir, Borah replied. Over the next day, Hajun prepared his strike force. He chose 20 ships carefully. Fast cruisers with advanced weapons and shields. Pilots who had trained in asteroid navigation for years. The council sent 3 observers. They boarded human ships with obvious nervousness. None of them had ever met a human before. They were surprised to find the ships clean and organized. The crews were professional and courteous. One observer, a young Keltharian named Sora, spoke with a human engineer. Your technology is impressive, she said. How did you develop it in isolation? The engineer smiled. We had no choice. When you are cut off from everyone else, you either innovate or die. We chose to innovate. Were you angry about the exile? The engineer thought about this. At first, yes, but anger does not help you survive. We focused on building a future instead of dwelling on the past. Sora found this answer interesting. Maybe humans had changed after all. The strike force reached the edge of the Krell asteroid field 2 days later. The field was huge, stretching for thousands of kilometers. Asteroids of all sizes drifted in chaotic patterns. It was a navigator's nightmare. Captain Hajun sat in the command chair of his ship, the HNS Swift. He studied the sensor data carefully. The council attacked from the main approach vector, his tactical officer said. The pirates have heavy defenses there. Automated guns, mines, the whole setup. So we do not attack from there, Hajun said. Deploy stealth drones. I want a complete map of this field. Find me the back door. The drones launched silently. They were small and nearly invisible. They moved through the asteroids, scanning everything. Data poured back to the human ships. After 6 hours, Hajun smiled. There, he pointed at the tactical display. A narrow passage through the southern quadrant. It leads directly to their main facility. The pirates think the passage is too small for ships to use. Is it too small? An officer asked. For council ships, yes, Hajun said. But our ships are smaller and more maneuverable. We can make it through. Captain Hajun was leading a small human delegation fleet near the council border. They were returning from delivering the rescued hostages to their home worlds. The mission had been peaceful. The people they rescued had thanked them with tears of gratitude. Hajun sat in his command chair reviewing reports. Everything seemed calm. Then alarms screamed across the bridge. "Multiple contacts!" the sensor officer shouted. Council warships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. 20 vessels. "They are powering weapons!" Hajun jumped to his feet. "Hail them immediately!" The communications officer tried. "They are not responding to our calls. Shields up," Hajun ordered. "All ships, defensive formation. Do not return fire. I repeat, do not return fire." The council ships opened fire. Energy beams and missiles streaked across space. The human ship's shields absorbed most of the damage, but not all. One human vessel took a direct hit to its engine section. The ship spun out of control. "The HNS Horizon is damaged," an officer reported. "They have casualties." Hajun felt rage building inside him. Human sailors were dying. But he forced himself to stay calm. This was a trap. Someone wanted them to fight back. "All ships, evasive maneuvers," Hajun commanded. "Full retreat to the quarantine line. Do not engage the enemy." "Sir, we can destroy these ships easily," his tactical officer said. "I know," Hajun said through clenched teeth. "But if we fight back, we prove Vexthor right. We show the galaxy that humans are aggressive. Follow my orders." The human ships turned and ran. Their engines were faster than the council vessels, but they had to move slowly to protect the damaged horizon. Council ships pursued, firing constantly. Another human ship took damage. Then another. Crew members died. Hajun watched his people suffer and forced himself to do nothing. "Admiral Taeyang is demanding a report," the communications officer said. "Tell him we are under attack by council forces," Hajun said. "We are withdrawing without engaging. Request immediate support at the border." The human fleet reached the old quarantine line 30 minutes later. The council ship stopped at the boundary but continued firing across it. 2 more human vessels were hit before they could get to safety. Admiral Taeyang's main fleet was waiting. The Sovereign and 100 other warships formed a defensive line. The council ships saw them and finally stopped shooting. They withdrew slowly, watching the humans carefully. Hajun docked with the Sovereign. He went straight to the medical bay to check on wounded crew members. 15 humans had died. 30 more were injured, all because of an unprovoked attack. In the command center, Taeyang listened to the reports with cold fury. Ambassador Datwin was there too, her face pale with shock. "They attacked us," Datwin said quietly. "Without warning. Without cause. This was Vexthor's doing." "Can you prove it?" Taeyang asked. "Not yet. But those ships would not attack without orders from high authority. And Vexthor is the only one who hates us enough to do this. What do we do now?" Captain Hajun asked. He had just come from the medical bay. His uniform had bloodstains on it. "We show the galaxy what really happened," Taeyang said. "Release all sensor data. Show that we never fired a shot. Show that we retreated despite having superior firepower. Let the truth speak for itself." The data was transmitted across all public networks. Within hours, every species in Council space had access to the recordings. They showed everything. Council ships attacking without provocation. Human ships absorbing damage without fighting back. Human sailors dying while holding their fire. Public outrage exploded across the galaxy. The Keltharian ambassador called an emergency council session. She was furious. Who authorized this attack? Humans were returning from a humanitarian mission. They rescued our people. And we repaid them with violence? The Morvian delegate stood. "I demand a full investigation. Someone ordered this attack without council approval. That is illegal." Vexthor tried to defend himself. "The humans were in council space without authorization. Our forces had the right to defend our borders. They were delivering rescued hostages," the Keltharian ambassador shouted, "and they were in authorized transit lanes. You gave them permission yourself." "The situation changed," Vexthor said. "Intelligence suggested they were a threat." "What intelligence?" the Morvian delegate demanded. "Show us this evidence." Vexthor could not. He had no evidence. The attack had been purely political, designed to provoke the humans into fighting back. But they had not taken the bait. "I call for a vote of no confidence in Council Leader Vexthor," the Keltharian ambassador said. "He has abused his authority and endangered galactic peace." Seconded, said the Morvian delegate. More voices joined. Vexthor watched his power crumbling. He had ruled the council for 3 decades. Now, in a matter of days, he was losing everything. Meanwhile, Ambassador Dayun worked in secret. She had contacts within the council bureaucracy. People who disagreed with Vexthor's policies. They gave her access to classified archives. What she found changed everything. The original records about humanity's exile were 200 years old. Dayun read them carefully. The official story was that humans were too violent and aggressive to join galactic civilization. But deeper in the archives, Dayun found other documents. Secret reports from Vexthor's predecessors. They told a different story. 200 years ago, humanity was developing advanced technology at incredible speed. In just 50 years, they had gone from primitive rockets to faster-than-light travel. Their scientists made breakthroughs that took other species centuries to achieve. Vexthor's species controlled most of the advanced technology in council space. They sold it to other species at high prices. They were the richest and most powerful members of the council. Then humans appeared. Humans who could innovate without buying technology. Humans who threatened the monopoly. The secret documents were clear. Humanity was exiled not because they were dangerous, but because they were competition. The violence and aggression were excuses. The real reason was economic and political power. Dayun copied everything. She verified the documents were authentic. Then she sent them to every sympathetic council member she knew. The revelation spread like fire. Species across the galaxy learned the truth. They had been lied to for 200 years. Humanity was not exiled for being violent. They were exiled for being too innovative, too successful, too much of a threat to established powers. The Keltharian ambassador read the documents with tears in her eyes. "We were wrong," she said to the council. "For 2 centuries we punished an innocent species because of lies and greed. Public opinion shifted completely. What had been suspicion of humans became sympathy. What had been fear became guilt. The galaxy realized it had committed a terrible injustice. Vexthor saw his position becoming impossible. The vote of no confidence would pass. He would lose his leadership. His species would lose their monopoly on technology. He made a desperate decision. "I declare humanity an enemy of the Galactic Council," Vexthor announced. "All Council military forces are ordered to mobilize. We will enforce the exile by force." The chamber erupted in chaos. "You cannot declare war without Council approval," the Keltharian ambassador shouted. "I am Council leader," Vexthor said. "I have emergency powers. Those powers are for defense, not aggression." The Morvian delegate protested, but Vexthor ignored them. He sent orders to the military, but most Council species refused to follow those orders. Their commanders would not fight humans who had done nothing wrong. Only a few species remained loyal to Vexthor. Those who benefited from the old power structure. Those who feared change. They gathered their fleets and prepared for war. The galaxy stood at the edge of civil war. On the Sovereign, Admiral Taeyang watched the situation deteriorate. Ambassador Dayun stood beside him looking exhausted but determined. "What do we do?" Dayun asked. "If we stand back, the Council will tear itself apart. If we intervene, they may see it as aggression." Taeyang was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. "We intervene, not to conquer, not for revenge, but to stop this madness before more people die. The Council will see it as an invasion," Captain Hajun warned. "Some will," Taeyang agreed, "but I believe most will see it as rescue. The Keltharians, the Morvians, and others have been reaching out to us. They want our help. They want peace, so we become peacekeepers." Dayun asked. "We become what we always should have been," Taeyang said. "Protectors. Not of just humanity, but of anyone who cannot protect themselves. Vexthor wanted us to be monsters. Instead, we will be heroes." He turned to his officers. "Prepare the fleet. We are going to the Council capital. Not to destroy it, but to save it." "Yes, sir," they responded. The human fleet began to move. 200 ships heading toward the heart of Council space. Some species welcomed them. Others feared them. But all watched to see what would happen next. Vexthor gathered his loyalist forces. 50 warships from species that still supported him. They took position around the Council capital world of Zenthar. "Let them come," Vexthor said. "We will show the galaxy that humans are dangerous. We will prove I was right all along." But deep in his heart, Vexthor knew he had already lost. The galaxy had seen the truth. No matter what happened in the coming battle, his lies were exposed. His power was broken. All that remained was how the end would come. The HNS Swift led 19 other human ships into the asteroid field. Captain Ha-Jun watched his navigation display carefully. The passage was narrow, sometimes only 50 meters wider than his ship. One wrong move would mean a collision. "Stay focused," Ha-Jun said to his pilot. "Trust your instruments," the pilot nodded. Her hands moved smoothly across the controls. The ship glided through the gap between two massive asteroids. Behind them, the other ships followed in perfect formation. On the Council observer ship, Sora watched in amazement. Council pilots would never attempt such a dangerous approach. But the humans made it look easy. Their ships moved with precision and grace. "How are they doing this?" another observer asked. "Training," a human officer explained. "Our pilots practice in asteroid fields constantly. This is normal for us." The human fleet emerged from the passage directly behind the pirate base. The base was built inside a hollowed-out asteroid. Defensive guns pointed outward in all directions, but most faced the main approach vector where the Council had attacked before. "Target the defensive grid," Ha-Jun ordered. "Precision strikes only. We do not want civilian casualties." The human ships opened fire. Their weapons were incredibly accurate. Each shot disabled a gun turret or destroyed a weapons platform. Within 2 minutes, the outer defenses were gone. The pirates realized they were under attack. They scrambled to respond, but their ships were not ready. Most were docked for repairs or refueling. 5 pirate ships managed to launch. They fired wildly at the human fleet. But human point defense systems intercepted every shot. The pirate weapons could not penetrate human shields. "Disable their engines," Ha-Jun commanded. "Do not destroy them." Human ships targeted the pirate engines with surgical precision. One by one, the pirate vessels went dead in space. Their crews were alive but helpless. "All hostile ships neutralized," the tactical officer reported. "No casualties on our side. Enemy casualties minimal." Ha-Jun nodded. "General Bora, the facility is yours. Begin boarding operations." General Bora stood in the transport bay with 50 human soldiers. They wore combat armor but carried non-lethal weapons. Stun guns, shock grenades, neural disruptors. Their orders were clear: capture, do not kill. "Remember," Bora said to her team, "there are probably hostages inside. Protect them. The pirates are criminals, but they deserve a trial. We are professionals, not murderers." "Yes, ma'am," the soldiers responded. The transport ship docked with the asteroid base. Bora led her team through the airlock. The corridor beyond was dark and narrow. Emergency lights flickered. The first group of pirates appeared around a corner, firing energy weapons. Human soldiers raised their shields and absorbed the shots. Then they returned fire with stun guns. The pirates collapsed, unconscious but alive. Bora's team moved methodically through the base. They cleared each room carefully. When they found pirates, they stunned them and secured them with restraints. When they found hostages, they protected them and moved them to safe areas. One corridor led to a large holding cell. Inside, 30 civilian prisoners were locked up. They were from various council species, all captured during pirate raids. Bora cut through the lock. "You are safe now," she told the prisoners. "We are here to rescue you." The prisoners stared at the human soldiers with confusion and fear. They had heard stories about humans being dangerous. "It is okay," Bora said gently. "We will not hurt you. Let us get you out of here." A young Keltharian child stepped forward hesitantly. Bora knelt down to the child's level and smiled. The child reached out and touched Bora's hand. Then the child smiled back. The other prisoners relaxed. These humans were nothing like the stories. Deep inside the base, the pirate leaders barricaded themselves in the command center. There were 8 of them, all heavily armed. They watched security monitors as human soldiers cleared through their facility. "This is impossible," one pirate said. "How did they get through our defenses?" "They are humans," another pirate said. "I heard about them. The Council exiled them 200 years ago." "Then why are they helping the Council?" the leader asked. No one had an answer. The door to the command center exploded inward. Human soldiers poured through, moving fast. The pirates opened fire, but human shields blocked the shots. Stun grenades filled the room with bright light and loud noise. When the light faded, all 8 pirate leaders were on the floor unconscious. Human soldiers secured them with restraints. Bora entered the command center. "Facility secured," she reported to Ha-Jun. "All hostages safe. All pirates captured alive. 0 casualties on both sides." Excellent work, General, Hajun replied. The entire operation took only 3 hours. The council had failed 3 times over several months. Humans succeeded in half a day. On the observer ship, Sora and the other council representatives were stunned. They had watched everything. The precision, the speed, the discipline. Most importantly, the restraint. They could have killed everyone, one observer said quietly, but they chose mercy. Their technology is impressive, another observer agreed. But their tactics are even better. They fight like professionals, not savages. Sora made detailed notes. The council needed to hear all of this. Humans were not the monsters from old records. They were skilled, disciplined, and honorable. The rescued hostages were transferred to human ships for medical care. Human doctors treated their injuries gently. Human engineers prepared the ships to take them home. One elderly Morvian prisoner approached Captain Ha-Jun. "Thank you," the elder said. "The pirates captured me 6 months ago. I thought I would die here. You saved my life." Ha-Jun bowed slightly. "We are glad we could help. You will be home soon." "Why did you help us?" the elder asked. "The council exiled your people." "Because it was the right thing to do," Ha-Jun said simply. "The council may have wronged us, but you did not. Innocent people should not suffer because of politics." The elder nodded slowly. "Your people have honor. The council was wrong about you." Back at council headquarters, the observer reports arrived. Council members gathered to review the recordings and data. They saw everything: the careful planning, the precise execution, the humane treatment of both hostages and prisoners. The Keltharian ambassador stood to speak. "I have reviewed the evidence. The humans performed flawlessly. They showed us that military strength and moral restraint can exist together. I vote to lift the exile." "As do I," the Morvian delegate agreed. "We have misjudged humanity. They deserve a place in our civilization." More voices joined in support. The tide of opinion was shifting. Delegates who had been skeptical now reconsidered their positions. But Council Leader Vexthor watched all of this with growing rage. He saw his control slipping away. The other council members were being fooled by a simple demonstration of force. When it was his turn to speak, Vexthor stood. "You are all being deceived," he said loudly. "The humans showed us they can fight effectively. This does not make them peaceful. It makes them more dangerous. They rescued hostages," the Keltharian ambassador protested. "They captured criminals for trial. They showed restraint when they knew we were watching," Vexthor argued. "But what will they do when no one watches? Their military power is too great. If we admit them to the council, they will dominate us." Ambassador Daun, who had been allowed to watch the session, stood up. "Council leader, the galaxy needs defenders. Pirates are not the only threat out here. There are dangers you have not faced yet. Would you rather we become enemies or allies?" "I would rather you remain isolated," Vexthor said coldly. "The exile should be permanent." The chamber filled with angry voices. Some supported Vexthor. Many opposed him. The council was deeply divided, but public opinion across council space was turning strongly in humanity's favor. News of the rescue spread quickly. Citizens saw the recordings of human soldiers protecting hostages. They heard the testimonies of grateful survivors. For the first time in 200 years, many people in the galaxy saw humans not as threats but as heroes. On the Sovereign, Admiral Taeyang received reports from his intelligence officers. "Sir, we have intercepted encrypted communications. Vexthor is meeting with hardline council members. They are planning something." "What kind of planning?" Taeyang asked. "We cannot break the encryption yet, but the tone suggests hostility. They may be preparing to reject our petition despite the successful mission." Taeyang frowned. "Stay alert. Monitor all council military movements. If Vexthor plans treachery, I want advance warning." "Yes, sir." Daun entered the command center. She looked worried. "Admiral, I think we may have a problem. Vexthor is not accepting the evidence. He is still pushing for permanent exile. Can we convince enough council members to overrule him?" Taeyang asked. "Maybe," Daun said, "but it will take time. And I am not sure Vexthor will give us that time." Taeyang looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, decisions were being made that would determine humanity's future. All they could do was wait and hope that reason would prevail over fear. But in his heart, Taeyang knew that hope was not enough. He began preparing contingency plans. If diplomacy failed, Humanity would need to be ready for whatever came next. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council floated above the planet Zenthar. Inside, representatives from 50 different alien species sat in their designated seats. The chamber was huge, with walls made of transparent metal that showed the stars beyond. Holographic displays flickered in the air, showing trade numbers and border maps. Council leader Vexthor stood at the center platform. His species was tall and thin, with blue skin that glowed faintly. He had led the council for 30 years. Today's meeting was routine. They discussed shipping routes through the Morvian sector. They argued about mining rights on 3 dead planets. A delegate from the Keltharian systems complained about tariffs. Everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. A young aide approached Vexthor during a break. The aide held a data tablet and looked nervous. Vexthor barely glanced at him. "Leader Vexthor, there is an old matter in the archives," the aide said, "about a quarantined sector. The files are 200 years old." Vexthor waved his hand dismissively. 200 years? Why does this concern us now? The quarantine was for a species called humans. I know what they were, Vexthor interrupted. Aggressive, dangerous. We exiled them for good reason. They are forgotten now. Leave them forgotten. The aide bowed and left. Vexthor returned to his seat. He did not think about the humans again. No one in the council did. That sector of space had been empty for 2 centuries. Nothing lived there anymore. Nothing that mattered. On the edge of council space, a patrol ship drifted between stars. The crew was bored. They had been on patrol for 3 weeks without seeing anything interesting. The ship was small, designed for watching borders, not fighting. The sensor officer stared at his screen and yawned. Then something made him sit up straight. "Captain, I have unusual readings," he said. The captain came over to look. "What kind of readings?" "Energy signatures. Multiple sources. They are coming from the quarantine zone." The captain frowned. "That is impossible. Nothing is there. The signatures are moving. They are crossing the boundary line." The captain felt cold. "Show me." The main screen changed. It showed the old quarantine boundary as a red line. Beyond it, space had been empty for 200 years. But now, dozens of bright dots appeared on the screen. They were ships. Big ones. "Try to contact them," the captain ordered. The communications officer sent a standard greeting on all frequencies. There was no response. The unknown ships kept moving forward. "Set intercept course," the captain said. "We need to identify them." The patrol ship turned and accelerated. As they got closer, the unknown vessels suddenly disappeared from all sensors. One moment they were there. The next moment, nothing. "Where did they go?" the captain demanded. "Unknown, sir. They are not cloaked in any way we can detect. They just vanished." The captain sent an emergency message to council headquarters. Within hours, panic spread through the government. Someone had breached their borders with technology that could bypass every sensor they had. Far behind the patrol ship, Admiral Taeyang stood on the bridge of the HNS Sovereign. The ship was massive, larger than any vessel the council had built in the last century. Around it, 200 human warships hung in space, invisible to council sensors. Taeyang was 50 years old. His hair was gray at the temples. His uniform was clean and pressed. He had spent his entire career preparing for this moment. Every officer in the fleet had. They were the children and grandchildren of the exiled. "Admiral, all ships report ready," Captain Hajun said. He was young, only 30, but he had proven himself a brilliant tactical officer. "We can maintain stealth for another 6 hours." Taeyang nodded. "Good. Ambassador Dayun, what is your recommendation?" Dayun stood near the communication station. She was a diplomat, not a soldier. She wore civilian clothes, not a uniform. "We should try to talk to them first," she said. "Give them one more chance for peace." "They exiled us," Hajun said quietly. "They left us to die." "But we did not die," Daun replied. "We survived. We built an empire. Now we must show them what we have become. War should be the last option, not the first." Taeyang considered this. He had orders from the human government. They wanted humanity to reclaim their place in the galaxy. But those orders did not require bloodshed. "Not yet. We will attempt diplomacy," Taeyang decided, "but all ships remain at battle stations. Weapons charged, shields ready. We hope for peace but prepare for war." "Yes, sir," Hajun said. At the council headquarters, emergency meetings continued through the night. Intelligence officers pulled ancient records from deep archives. The files about humanity were 2 centuries old. Most people had never heard of them. Vexthor read the reports with growing anger. Humans had been exiled because they were too aggressive, too violent, too unpredictable. They fought each other constantly on their home world. When they developed space travel, the Council decided they were too dangerous to join galactic civilization. How did they survive? A military advisor asked. We cut them off completely. No trade, no technology, no contact. They should have collapsed, another official said. Their economy should have failed. But the evidence was clear. Not only had humans survived, they had built ships that were more advanced than anything the Council possessed. Their stealth technology was completely unknown. Their energy signatures suggested weapons that could tear through Council defenses. We must respond with force, Vexthor declared. Mobilize our defense fleets. Show them we are not weak. Leader Vexthor, the Keltharian ambassador interrupted. Perhaps we should try communication first. We do not know their intentions. Their intentions are obvious, Vexthor snapped. They are humans. Violence is in their nature. The Council chamber erupted in argument. Some species wanted immediate military action. Others suggested diplomacy. The debate went on for hours. Then every screen in the chamber flickered. A new signal had been detected. A single human ship had detached from their hidden fleet. It was approaching the Council station slowly with no weapons active. A message came through on all frequencies. It was in perfect Council standard language. This is Ambassador Dayun of the Human Systems Alliance. We request a formal audience with the Galactic Council. We come in peace. We seek dialogue, not conflict. We ask that you receive us as representatives of a sovereign nation. Please respond. The message repeated 3 times, then stopped. Vexthor stared at the screen. Every Council member waited for his decision. The humans were here. They were at the door. They claimed to want peace. But Vexthor remembered the old records. He remembered why humanity had been exiled. These creatures were dangerous. They always had been, still he could not simply refuse. Too many Council members were watching. Too many wanted to give diplomacy a chance. Send a response, Vexthor said slowly. Tell them we will receive 1 ambassador. No weapons, no guards, and their fleet must remain outside our borders. The message was sent. On the human ship, Dayun received it and smiled. It was not the welcome she had hoped for, but it was a beginning. Admiral, they have agreed to meet, she reported. Tae Yang felt tension ease slightly from his shoulders. Good luck, Ambassador. Show them what humanity has become. Dayun prepared to board a shuttle. She would go alone into the heart of the Council, into the chamber of those who had condemned her species to exile. She was afraid, but she did not show it. She carried the hopes of billions of humans who wanted their place among the stars. Behind her, the human fleet waited in the darkness. If diplomacy failed, they were ready. 200 years of exile had made humanity strong. The galaxy was about to learn just how strong. The human fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Zenthar system. 200 ships appeared in perfect formation. The sight was magnificent and terrifying at the same time. Admiral Tae Yang stood on the bridge of the Sovereign. Around him, his officers worked quietly and efficiently. There was no panic, no fear. Just professionals doing their duty. Vexthor's forces are positioned around the planet, Captain Hajun reported. 50 warships. They have activated weapons and shields. Open a channel to all ships in the system, Tae Yang ordered. All frequencies. Channel open, sir. Tae Yang spoke clearly and calmly. This is Admiral Tae Yang of the Human Systems Alliance. We come in peace. We are here to prevent unnecessary bloodshed. Any Council vessel that wishes to stand down will be granted safe passage. We have no quarrel with those who seek peace. He paused, then continued. To those who choose to fight, understand this. We do not wish to harm you, but we will defend ourselves and those who cannot defend themselves. Choose wisely. The message repeated on all frequencies. Every ship in the system heard it. Every sailor and officer had to make a choice. On Vexthor's flagship, the Pride of Zenthar, the bridge crew listened in silence. Many looked uncertain. They had families on the planet below. They knew the human fleet could destroy them easily. Vexthor stood rigid with anger. Do not listen to their lies. They are invaders. We will defend our home. All ships prepare to engage. But 3 ships immediately broke formation and moved away. Their captains refused to fight. Then 5 more ships departed. Then 10. Within minutes, Vexthor's fleet had shrunk to 20 vessels. 20 captains who remained loyal, either from duty or fear. The human fleet did not attack the departing ships. They let them go peacefully, just as Taiyang promised. 20 ships remaining hostile, Hajun reported. Should we engage? Not yet, Taiyang said. Give them more time to reconsider. On the planet below, billions watched through broadcasts. The council chamber had been evacuated except for a few brave representatives who refused to leave. The Keltharian ambassador and the Morvian delegate stood together watching the sky. Will they attack the city? Someone asked nervously. No, the Keltharian ambassador said with certainty. They are not monsters. They proved that already. Vexithor watched his fleet shrink and felt desperation growing. Everything he had built was collapsing. But he would not surrender. He could not. Target the human flagship, Vexithor commanded. All ships fire at will. The Pride of Zenthar opened fire. 19 other ships followed. Energy beams and missiles filled the space between the fleets. The human fleet activated their defenses. Point defense systems shot down missiles. Shields absorbed energy blasts. Not a single human ship was damaged. Return fire, Taiyang said quietly. Disable only. Target their weapons and engines. Human ships responded with perfect accuracy. They did not aim for bridges or life support. They targeted weapon systems and engine cores. Within 2 minutes, 15 of Vexthor's ships were dead in space, their crews alive but helpless. 5 ships remained functional. 4 of them immediately ceased fire and broadcast surrender signals. Only the Pride of Zenthar continued fighting. Focus on the flagship, Taiyang ordered. Captain Hajun, you have tactical command. Hajun coordinated the Sovereign's attack. The human flagship was larger and faster than the Pride. Hajun maneuvered smoothly, avoiding enemy fire while targeting weak points. The Pride tried to fight back, but Vexthor's crew were afraid and disorganized. Their shots went wide. Their movements were predictable. Within 5 minutes, the Pride's weapons were destroyed. Its engines were disabled. The ship floated helplessly, surrounded by human vessels. Send boarding teams, Taiyang said. General Bo-Ra, bring me Vexthor. Alive. Yes, sir, Bo-Ra replied. Transport ships carried human soldiers to the Pride. They cut through the airlock and entered the disabled flagship. The Pride's crew offered no resistance. They were exhausted and defeated. General Bo-Ra led her team to the bridge. They found Vexthor still in his command chair, staring at blank screens. His blue skin had lost its glow. He looked old and tired. Council Leader Vexthor, Bo-Ra said formally, you are under arrest for crimes against peace and illegal military action. You will stand trial before the Galactic Council. Vexthor looked at her. Why do you not kill me? I tried to destroy your species. I attacked your people without cause. Bo-Ra's expression was calm. Because we are not the monsters you claimed we were. You will face justice, not revenge. You will have a fair trial. That is what civilized beings do. Vexthor had no response. Human soldiers escorted him from the bridge. The broadcast of his arrest went across the entire galaxy. Citizens everywhere watched the former council leader being taken into custody by the very species he had tried to destroy. Many felt satisfaction at seeing justice done. Others felt shame for believing his lies. On the planet below, the council chamber filled with representatives again. With Vexthor gone, they could finally act freely. The Keltharian ambassador took temporary leadership. We must rebuild our government, she said. The old system was corrupt. We need reform. Agreed, said the Morvian delegate. And we must formally apologize to humanity for 200 years of injustice. More than apologize, another representative added. We should offer them full council membership immediately. The vote was unanimous. Every species present agreed. Humanity deserved a place in galactic civilization. Ambassador Da-Un was invited to the chamber. She walked to the center platform where she had stood days before. But the atmosphere was completely different now. Before, she faced suspicion and hostility. Now she saw respect and gratitude. Ambassador Da-Un, the Keltharian ambassador, said warmly, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I apologize for the terrible wrong done to your people. The exile was unjust. The attacks were criminal. We cannot undo the past, but we can offer you a better future. She paused, then continued. The Council formally invites humanity to join as full members. We also nominate you, Ambassador Da-Un, to serve on the Leadership Council. Will you accept? Diane felt emotions rising but kept her voice steady. On behalf of humanity, we accept. But we do so with conditions. What conditions? The Morvian delegate asked. That the council reforms its structure, Daun said firmly. No more monopolies on technology. No more exile without fair trial. No more concentrating power in single leaders who can abuse it. If we join, we help create a better system for everyone. The representatives considered this. Then, one by one, they nodded agreement. We accept your conditions, the Keltharian ambassador said. Help us build something better. The chamber erupted in applause. For the first time in 200 years, humans were truly part of the galactic community. On the Sovereign, Admiral Tai Yang received the news. He allowed himself a small smile. The mission was complete. Humanity had proven its worth not through conquest but through honor. What are your orders, Admiral? Captain Hajun asked. Begin patrol operations, Tai Yang said. Work with Council forces to secure the borders. Show them how allies operate together. And our fleet, General Bora asked. We remain ready, Tai Yang replied. Not to threaten, but to protect. The galaxy is vast. There are dangers out there beyond politics. We will stand guard against those dangers. Over the following weeks, human ships began joint operations with Council forces. At first, the cooperation was awkward. Centuries of separation had created different tactics and procedures, but humans adapted quickly, and Council forces learned from human innovation. Human technology was shared freely. Medical advances, agricultural techniques, engineering breakthroughs, everything humanity had developed during exile became available to all Council species. In return, humans learned about galactic culture. They established embassies on dozens of worlds. Human students attended Council universities. Human artists collaborated with alien musicians and painters. Slowly, the wounds began to heal. Vexthor stood trial 6 months later. The evidence against him was overwhelming. He had ordered illegal attacks.
He had lied about humanity's exile.
He had abused his power for personal gain. The Council found him guilty on all charges. But following human advice, they showed mercy. Instead of execution, Vexthor received exile to a remote colony. He would live out his days isolated, as he had forced humanity to live. Some thought the punishment was too light. Others saw the poetry in it. Vexthor would experience personally the pain he had inflicted on others. 5 years passed. Human colonies spread across the galaxy. Not through conquest, but through peaceful settlement and cooperation. Humans and aliens lived side by side, learning from each other. Trade flourished. Art and culture mixed in beautiful new ways. Scientific research accelerated as humans and aliens shared knowledge. The galaxy became safer. Human military tactics combined with Council resources to eliminate piracy and defend against external threats. No enemy could stand against the unified strength of all civilized species working together. Admiral Tai Yang retired after 5 years of service. He had accomplished everything he set out to do. Humanity was respected, accepted, and valued throughout the galaxy. At his retirement ceremony, leaders from 50 species came to honor him. The Keltharian ambassador spoke for all of them.